Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gio. I wanted to talk to you guys today briefly about taking inspired action. I feel like taking inspired action is super important, especially when you want to manifest your desired reality. If you feel something and you're inspired to do something, do it. Because a lot of the times when we hold ourselves back, we're doubting, we're fearing, we're not believing in ourselves. So our brain has to see that we're believing in ourselves by doing the inspired action, whether it's an internal inspired action or an external inspired action. We just got to take it. I'll give you some examples of what I've done to take inspired action and what has happened because of that. The first one would be last year in May when the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was going on. I'm a huge hip hop head and I'm a Kendrick fan. And when he dropped Not Like Us, I heard it and I heard my type of beat on it because I'm a producer and I make Latin music, specifically cumbia. So I was like, let me remix it into my style. And so I did it. I put up a video on Instagram and TikTok, and it blew up. People were loving it. It was just a dancier version of it. Put it up on YouTube. It was doing numbers. It's still doing numbers. So I saw that and I was like, I'm glad that I did because one, I'm a huge music fan. Two, I love doing remixes. And three, I was like, this is a way to get people to listen to my stuff and be fans of my music by remixing a song that they like and it's popular. And a lot of people might be like, oh, that's corny or whatever, you're trying to get people's attention with pop culture. Really though, is it? Because my main goal is to grow my music and my business and my music pages online. So why not do something that people like, right? I used to be against covers. I used to be against remixes and all that one long time ago. But then I changed my mind. I was like, nah, like I like remixes. I like covers. So why not just do some in my style? So that's what I did. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gotten the followers that I did. I wouldn't have gotten the people who actually wanted to hear my music after that because they're like, "Whoa, this is beat is awesome," and they started checking out my other stuff and they saw that I have similar music and it was awesome, right? So flash forward to today, Kendrick Lamar finished performing at the Super Bowl last Sunday. It's been a week. So that night I watched it with my son and it was awesome. I was so excited. And that same night, when I put my son to sleep, I was like, man, like I should bring that remix back with footage of the Super Bowl because there's this really funny clip when he's playing Not Like Us where he's looks like he's kind of dancing cumbia, and I was like, whoa, this is a perfect clip. So I used that clip and I put my remix over it, posted it the next morning. It went viral. Like it got a million views within 2 days, and my followers started going up. People started checking out my other stuff. Same thing on TikTok. A lot more numbers on YouTube. So like if I hadn't taken those inspired actions, I wouldn't see the growth that I'm seeing right now. And I just finished playing a gig on Friday at this place, and I was talking to this guy. And he was asking what I do, what kind of, I just met him. He was asking what kind of music I do and all that stuff, right? And so I was telling him, and then I met the owner and her husband, and the husband came up to me while I'm talking to the guy, and he was like, "Yo, I love that Kendrick Lamar cumbia that you did. You gonna play it tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And so that guy I was talking to that I just met, he's like, "Oh, that was you? I saw that. Like, what? Like, so." It's just wild because like a lot of people, they love pop culture stuff and they think stuff is funny, and I do too. That's why I wanted to take that inspired action and post that because I had the remix already, and so it opened up people's perception of that and perception of my music, and now I've got more fans because of it. And that's just one example of taking inspired action. There's obviously a lot more that I can give you. Another one being I have been like I guess a fan of this performer named Gitkin. He's an amazing artist and I love his music, and we follow each other on Instagram, and it's been a long time since we connected online. And when we first did, we were like, hey, we should play together one day, right? So like we should play a show, and it hadn't happened or anything, but I moved to Colorado, and so I saw that he was performing in Colorado in February this month. It was a few months ago, and I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, I would love to open up for you, man. I see you're coming to Colorado." Like, he was like, "Cool, man. I already have somebody for the Friday gig, but on Saturday in Boulder, like, I don't have anybody. So hit up the venue, and I'll tell them that you're good with me." And so I was like, "Okay, cool." So I hit up the venue. So I hit up Gitkin, right, this artist, and then I hit up the venue. Those are inspired actions. If I hadn't taken that inspired action, this next thing wouldn't have happened. So I got on the show, and out of nowhere, I get a message and an email from Gitkin's manager, and he also manages this other band called Baltus, which Gitkin is playing with them on Friday in Denver. And he was like, "Hey, man, I love your work. Would love to meet you. I have 2 tickets with your name on them if you want to come and meet us and just connect." I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely." Like, I was already thinking about going to the show because I love both of those groups. So let's do it. And so I was like excited because he wants to meet. I didn't know for what or anything. I didn't expect anything. But that same email, there was another guy that was on there, and this guy had messaged me a week ago, and he was like, "Hey, we have a label and stuff. Like, do you happen to have any new music that is unreleased that we can check out?" I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And it happened perfectly because I had just received the masters for my new album, and so I sent it to him, and he loved it. And they all loved it, and then they're all like, "Would you like to release that album with us, with our label?" And so I'm like, "Whoa, okay, cool." But that came from me wanting to play that show with Gitkin and me hitting him up and hitting up the venue, right? If I hadn't taken those inspired actions, I wouldn't have been in this position. So you see how sometimes there's things that you might feel like, "Oh, I don't know, I shouldn't do it," and then nothing happens because you didn't take that inspired action. And so when you take inspired action, things start flowing, things start going. So my advice to anybody is, when you feel inspired to do something, do it. Don't let it hold you back at all, because you could be manifesting some amazing things in your life by just putting yourself out there. And it could be the same for anything, for love, for relationships, for work, whatever it is. And there's way more that I could think of that, and it's been happening too recently, of inspired actions too. Like the Kendrick remix came about, and I got messaged by somebody on Instagram that saw that and was like, "Hey, do you do commissions for music? Well, I would love to commission you to create a song for my podcast for the intro." I was like, "Yeah." So, boom. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gotten that work. You see what I'm saying? So, take inspired action, guys. It's definitely listening to your intuition, because the universe wants to help you realize your dreams and your goals. But if you're holding yourself back, it's not gonna happen. We're our own worst critic, our own worst enemy if we want it to be. But don't be. Be your best friend. Be your best critic. Be the best supporter that you can have for what you want to do. So, just want to leave you with that thought, and I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing really good. I'm working right now doing Uber deliveries, but I'm constantly creating, and I'm constantly doing affirmations and visualizations and all that, even when I'm in the car. So I wanted to stop, take a break, and record this video to hopefully inspire somebody to take inspired action. And if you or somebody that you know would love this message, send that video to them, share it. If you want to comment, I'll respond back to you. I'll follow you back. I want to build a community. So much love to everybody. Thanks for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.